their knowledge. I just upload that in English, but they blocked this video, and I tried to open also another account, but they don't let me upload it because probably they don't want others to know the truth. Okay, anyway, for us target individually, this is very normal, and we must be very strong and accept that we can do nothing. Somebody is paying for that, and we must think. It's difficult, I know. It's very difficult, but please try to understand that this is the day. We can't do nothing against this evil. This is there are people working for Satan. They are making so much money, and I'm trying to do my best. I just told him many times. It's not so easy. It's not so easy, no. This evening I don't have so much time because they also blocked the time of the video. Then now I have 15 minutes. I will try to do in 15 minutes to tell what another target wrote, and because it's something that I feel, it's the same that I feel, and I think also other target, they feel the same. So this is another. I will do the other for yesterday another time. I don't think anyone really has an idea what I'm dealing with in my life right now. I'm not here all the time anymore because I'm simply trying to end the reasons that brought me here in the first place. This aside from ending my life. All I've written since I came here is true. I paid a heavy price for the experience of knowing this information, and I'm not sure what price I will pay for sharing the rest of what I have with others. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not so easy for me to read that. Truly, that price doesn't matter to me anymore because I have lost so much already. I still have to give the names of my perpetrators so that they may be held accountable for what they've done. I'm not their first or only victim, but I think I'm the only one of the victims who is strong enough to make them be held accountable for their crimes. My dots have had 3 years to be connected up. These people will be forced to own up to their deeds, and I will put my life on the line to do it. The correlation between gang stalking and the full investigation by the police or FBI, CIA or other agency should not be conclusively drawn at this time because of the connections to several major corporations. The amount of misconduct, willful neglect and misappropriation of public resources it would take for law enforcement to be the chief players in the crime is staggering, and although available, it doesn't account for private profits within several major corporations, or does it? Enough money can mimic a federal investigation if someone has infinite amounts to spend on a private investigation. Why would anyone be willing to spend tens of thousands of dollars to investigate private citizens? I'm speaking about dollars, but in this case it's euro or francs. That is a question to be answered another time, as it is the main part of the nexus. No deed goes unseen by God. What was done in the dark is steadfast coming to the light. Facts don't tell lies. I came to the internet to try and expose a crime that doesn't discriminate in its victims. I came to the internet to expose a bunch of depraved people for their actions. The people who assisted in what happened to me were not all just the jerks next door. No, these people were cops, FBI agents, college professors, government researchers and military that hide behind everyday people by using other people to assist them. These people are about doing terrible things to people because they can and must. I'm not the only victim of what is known on the internet, but a few names like gang stalking, but I was a very special target of the crime. I have personally known other victims of this crime, but none of them had an entire website created about them in the name of gang stalking. I thought that in coming on the internet and telling people what happened to me, I would be making it easier for other victims to come forward and speak up about what happened to them. Some refer to gang stalking as being a type of bullying, but it's not really that innocent. Bullying is much safer. Gang stalking victims are rarely harassed by the same individuals. And red flag words are rarely spoken to people who are victims in the form of harassment. No one will break any laws that are obvious in attacking a victim until no one believes that a crime is taking place. When no one believes the victim is when she becomes the most vulnerable. Victims are often harassed mentally and physically in strange ways that accumulate over time. Some victims have had their homes and cars broken into, but items taken are too petty to involve a serious investigation by law enforcement, because nothing of value is rarely taken and no signs of forced entry exist. The perpetrator often have keys or lock-picking equipment. Alarms also don't help because they aren't regular people. If a victim calls the police to report a break-in, the police are going to come out, but when they arrive and find out that there are no signs of forced entry and the only items missing are small items that could be misplaced, like a document, TV remote and silverware, then the cops are going to say the victim is crazy. Now, the victims didn't lie, and they didn't exactly what the criminals wanted them to do, which was to make themselves look like an ass. The criminals come back several times to do the same spontaneous debauchery by breaking into the victim's home to steal all their staples or finish taking their last silverware, and in doing so leave the victim to know that they have entered their home and there isn't shit that can be done. If the victim has been worried enough to continue to call the authorities, then they screw because now they seem like a paranoid nut who obviously needs help but is doing it for their attention. That's just one psychological game that is played in gang stalking. But there are many more. Once the victim knows that they are not safe in their own home and that the police will not assist, the real crimes begin. I'm sure that people read what I write and say, hey, this chick is either really creative or really psycho, but everything I write is based on facts and truth. I will tell no lies on this, so help me God. There is another technique using stalking that is called gaslighting. They take its name from a 1940s film of the same name. The technique is used to make a victim doubt themselves and believe they are crazy. The techniques of gang stalking are so stupid that they obviously were thought of by very intelligent idiots. Yes, these people are intelligent, but they are also morons. Forced to Europe, mental instable insanities that crazy people never think that they are crazy, just like drug addicts and alcoholics never think that they have a problem. If a person begins to think that what they are experiencing is a sign that they are gaining a mental illness, chances are they are not mentally ill. In gaslighting, the goal is to do just that by conditioning a victim to fear and doubt. Victims must be followed by certain cars of certain colors of certain time of the day when a victim is alone the most. If a victim stops being alone and tries to show someone else, the cars will stop and change to a different schedule or shade. All of this is childish, but it is meant to make the victim wonder because they have no idea why they are being followed or why anyone is repeatedly following them everywhere they go and the police won't help. And still, there are many more techniques used that are just as effective for conditioning, some just as asinine, while others are life-threatening. Some victims, including myself, have had attempts on their lives. I wonder if any of this is actually getting through to people or if all this is a waste of time. This can happen to anyone at any time because no victim has been believed or must give up the fight out of shame and ridicule. I'm not a shy person, nor have I ever been, and I don't plan to back down from standing up against people who abuse power to play games that destroy families and lives. People have committed suicide over these psychological and physical attacks because they can continue for years. It's a perfect crime. If the criminals can remain anonymous, in my case the only anonymous individuals are the ones I haven't named. I know who conspired against me and they think I'm too scared or embarrassed to tell, yet I only get one chance to finger them and my evidence had better be some 100% as their credibility alone could blow me out the water. If someone turns in a cup that is crooked without proper evidence, who will believe the allegations? Report a doctor for misconduct without enough evidence, and what will be done? Blow the whistle on a crooked politician, but what will it matter without evidence? There is no shortage of crooked people in the world. There is only a shortage of people who are willing to believe that these people are doing wrong in the first place. The deeds of the wicked are always seen and heard, but the reports of such deeds are often overlooked based on status of fear. People are always reporting hate crimes, abuse of power and misconduct, but who listen when the perpetrator is in a status of power? Okay, this is the first time, because now they blocked my account, so I only have 15 minutes. I will do the second part later, in a later time. I'm very sorry, Francesca.